Are you a good vet? This is a question that we allow all kinds of different people and circumstances and situations to answer for us. And I think it's a really hard question. I think it's an open-ended question. We think it's a yes or no answer. And I'll just answer it for you. Are you a good vet? Yes. Period. Like, yes, done. We can shut the Facebook Live off. We're finished. But I know that that's not enough. So let's talk about why I'm even asking the question in the first place. The thing is, many of us tie our worth as a veterinarian to the outcomes of the cases that we see. So when our patients don't get better, we think that we failed. When clients get angry, we think that we failed. If I had been a better vet, the dog wouldn't have died. If I'd have been a better vet, the cat wouldn't have had to come back 3 days later for a recheck because it wasn't better. If I'd been a better vet, my client wouldn't have had to take their animal to the emergency clinic last night. So when we may not know that we're thinking those thoughts, but we have evidence of it because when the animal goes to the emergency clinic that you saw a few days prior, what is the feeling that you have? Do you freak out? Do you immediately think, oh my gosh, I did something wrong? Do you feel sad? Do you feel scared? Do you feel afraid? What are the emotions? They're usually a single word. So if you can kind of tie into the emotion that you feel when you realize a patient that you saw ended up at the e-clinic, then you can start to think about, okay, where did that feeling come from? So maybe it's fear. Cat that you saw yesterday went to the emergency clinic overnight. I feel afraid when I find that out. Why am I afraid? I'm afraid because I'm afraid I missed something. I'm afraid I didn't do a good job when I saw that pet yesterday. I'm afraid that I failed. And so it's those thoughts that we have about the results that we get, and not even the results that we get, but the way that their patients respond to the treatments that we prescribe, the thoughts that we have about their results, those outcomes that create all of these different feelings. And a lot of the times we cycle into, I failed, I'm a failure, inadequacy, I'm a fraud, I'm afraid, insecurity, I should never have done this job. All that. All of these just really negative things. And all this negativity comes from a place of when we dig down through it, what we are setting ourselves up for is this total thought error that if I'm doing my job well, my patients always get better. If I'm doing my job well, the clients are always happy. The reverse of that, clients are mad, clients get angry when I don't do my job well. Patients don't respond to treatment when I don't do my job well. And the two things are completely unrelated, quite honestly. You're a veterinarian. You do an exam. You come up with a plan. Maybe you want some more tests. You ask the owner, can we do some more tests? They either say yes or they say no. When they say no, that's a whole nother line of thought that we go down. Let's say they say yes. You get some test results. You come up with a treatment plan. You communicate that treatment plan. You prescribe the treatment. Do whatever needs to be done. And then end. Like, that is all. That is where your job stops. That is where what you can control ends. Now you have to wait and see what happens. The animal's either going to get better or it's not going to get better. Either way, you're still a great vet. Either way, you're still a great vet. It does not matter if the animal doesn't get better. If the animal doesn't get better, then what? Then you just need more information, right? That's all. Why did the animal not get better? Every time an animal doesn't get better, that's the question you ask. Why is the animal not getting better? The answer is not because I'm a bad veterinarian. Okay, hear me there. That's not the answer. Why did the animal not get better? Well, it didn't respond to treatment. Why? Because there's something going on that I don't know about yet. I don't understand exactly what's happening with that animal. That's okay. How do you find out? You do more tests. You do a referral. You need more information. So that's what you communicate with the owner. We're going to need some more information. It didn't, Fluffy didn't respond the way we expected him to. There's more that we don't know. We need some more information. Then you recommend whatever's next. I definitely, at this point, I feel like it would be in Fluffy's best interest for you to go ahead and let's get a referral, get you into the specialist, see if they can do an ultrasound, see if there's something that we can't see on the blood tests and the x-rays that we've already done, or whatever it is that needs to happen next. So many of us are afraid to have that conversation because we are afraid of how the owner's going to respond. We are afraid the owner's going to come back and say, I already spent all this money on this blood test and this x-ray and the dog is no better. Why would I put more money into it? If you couldn't figure it out already, why would I spend more money? Or what if I spend all that money and we still don't have an answer? They might say that. Recognize that in both of those cases, that has nothing to do with you. We get so afraid of the way that they're going to respond to the money piece that we become afraid to make the recommendations. You're making the recommendations from a place of service to Fluffy. We need some additional information because Fluffy hasn't responded based on the information and decisions that we have so far. So based on the information that we have and the decisions we've made based off that information so far, Fluffy has not responded. We need more information to figure out why and to figure out what to do next. More information costs money. The client gets to decide if they're going to spend the money. Now, if the client says they don't want to spend the money, and then they turn it into something about how you would do it for free if you really cared about animals and all those things we've always heard, just recognize that has nothing to do with you. You need more information. Information costs money. You're not a bad vet for asking for more information. You're not a bad vet because the initial route of treatment did not work. Here's the thing, guys. We don't have a crystal ball. We have no way to know how any animal is going to respond with 100% certainty. Over time, we can have a general idea of how things should go in a perfect situation, but guess what? The world's not perfect. And so when they don't respond the way that we expect them to, that's not a failure on us. That's just life. They don't all go the way we expect them to go. They don't all read the book. And that's not on us. Now, owners get disappointed for sure when their animals aren't getting better. And most of the time, all the crap that comes up, the words they say about the money and all of that really come from a place of concern for their own pet. And then frustrations with themselves if their finances are going to limit the things that they do. And oftentimes those words come out of their mouth blaming us for the cost of the care that we provide. That's not our responsibility. We can't do anything about the financial situation of our clients. We can give them options, care credit, some other things like that. But beyond that, that's not ours to fix. We're there to serve the client and the patient by offering them care. Now, I do want to say, one place where we can kind of get ourselves into a bit of a pickle and really get ourselves wound up is if we provide these opportunities for additional diagnostics and they say no, and then we offer nothing else. If they truly can't do anything else diagnostic-wise, there are still things that you can do in many cases that would help. So let's just give it, just for an example to kind of outline this. Let's say you had a dog that came in with vomiting and diarrhea and had the potential, they were at the park yesterday, who knows what he could have picked up when they were out running around the park yesterday, but got home last night, didn't want to eat his dinner, and, threw up once overnight, and then this morning just wasn't really excited about his dinner anyway, and now you see the dog. Okay, you do a physical exam, belly seems like you're palpated. It doesn't, maybe a little uncomfortable, no obvious foreign bodies, no fever, color looks okay. And, you've got this whole list in your mind, maybe he got into something toxic, maybe he's got a foreign body, there's all these things that it could be. Right now, you don't have enough information to know, number one. So if you don't know right now exactly what's wrong with the dog, you're normal. Congratulations.